Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, there's. In fact, let's have a look at it now. Can you see my screen? Okay. Okay. I mean, in Discord. Sorry. Can you see my screen in Discord? Let's just go to that corner you're talking about here, and see if I can angle the camera. It's the inside. It's basically it's very very steep incline right on the inside here. Let me. Uh, I don't know. You should be able to. Should be able to double click on me. This is not a good way of showing you this. Here we go. Let's change this angle. Yeah, you can kind of see it on this angle here. This doesn't really give you as good an idea as I thought it would, but basically right on the inside of this curb, it raises more steeply than when you're slightly wider. So certainly in the big high powered cars, going for a really tight like early-ish apex tends to not work because you end up going up this really steep part and spinning an inside wheel and understeering wide at the same time. But if you try and go too wide as well, it doesn't really. You seem to lose time too. So I'll show you just before we go driving. I'll show you what I ended up doing. So I tried to go for a bit of a compromise here. So I'm going for a red. Probably. Let's have a look. First gear. I was in first gear. For the rotation, I guess. Yeah, I was first gear every time, for sure. But obviously that means you're going to have to be super, super smooth getting on the gas. That's all, as you'd expect. Why is this a bit wonky? There we go. That's about right. Yeah, so I went for this kind of like mid to late apex where I don't use much curb, purely because if I use the curb I seem to go even wider, but even then I still get, you can probably see if I go in ultra slow-mo, maybe not that slow, about this slow, you can still see around about here it goes up, and that's like the hump, and that pushes me wide too. But as long as you anticipate it and you delay your throttle at that point, I'm going to listen just to hear. Yeah, I wait until I'm like off that bump. Now I start to get back on the gas, and very, very smoothly. In fact, you can see on the green, can't you? You can see the green bar down here. I'm like very, very progressive, like waiting, more, more, more. It's definitely not like a stamp at all. It's a very, very gradual throttle increase. Even once the car's straight, it's gradual because I'm in first gear. But anyway, that's that one corner. I've got your data from earlier, but I don't know whether it's worth looking. I guess we can look at it just as like a basic reference, just so we can see where the biggest difference is. And it was really the final corner. So final corner, in fact the last two corners, that's where you're going to find a chunk of time. There's almost 1 second just in the last corner. So that's going to come from knowing that you can take the piss, basically. At the moment, you're trying to drive too legally based on this. You've not done that many laps anyway. But I don't have your lap here to look at, but I can show you how much I'm taking the mickey around here. So, final two corners. I'm all four wheels off the track on the approach to the penultimate corner. Probably not. You're asking me awkward questions that I don't know the answer to. I'm going down to 5th for the penultimate and then down to 4th for the final corner. And so I'm using like all the entry runoff. And then a little nibble of the curb, but the big thing is using all this exit runoff. This isn't an off-track. You can go right up to the red here without getting off-track. And then an early turn into the final corner, trying to get to this yellow thing. If you hit the yellow thing, it doesn't really hurt you. There's a momentary bump, but it doesn't seem to kick the rear or anything. But I'm just trying to get near to it. And then on the exit, you can go right over the red here, and it doesn't give you an off-track. So that gives you the freedom to carry that extra speed and to get on the power. Now, look at that. I'm like full throttle, knowing that I can go super wide there and it doesn't give you any negative effect. That's how I did all my best laps. And likewise, in real life they put gravel there to stop you doing that. And just in terms of turn 1, you can do the same thing on the entry. I don't know whether you're doing this yet, but you see how I'm like all 4 wheels off the track, like quite a long way off. You know, I'm actually past the white line. You will get an off track if you go any wider than that, because I got it once or twice, but it just made it so much easier to carry the speed into that first corner. So basically, widen the track based on what I've seen your previous data. You might do that anyway if I didn't tell you, but you can see on here, like, I'm just like miles wider on the entries and on the exit. So that's where the extra speed will come from. So let's go do some laps. Let's go do it. Where are you? Why can't I find you? Because I'm clicking the wrong button. There we go. Right. Let's do it. I've got a cup of tea ready to go. It's very easy to do, isn't it? I'm just looking at how long it took me to get down to those times. So this is a little bit like Monaco, even though it's nothing like Monaco, where I kind of get quicker as I get my eye into threading the high-speed needle. So I got down to pretty much my fast times after 5 laps, but I think the tyres were probably ready after 3 or 4, but it's just that, I don't know, I just found my feet after those extra laps. So don't feel pressure to do them straight away. The car feels pretty good straight away, but it just gets really good after a few more. You can use quite a lot of exit runoff there as well, and here. So onto the green. So it's these two where the big time will come. Must be crazy in real life to throw it in at those speeds. Yeah, it's really horrible the way it falls away from you there. There's no... I don't really have any trick other than gentle trail braking and not being greedy with the entry speed. You make up all your time on the exit by being tidy on the way in. You can just, as you know, you can turn in slightly earlier for that penultimate corner. You'll get your eye in with a few more laps. Nice. It's not going to be on the first run. Oh, well held. Well held. The thing is with this, you have to take a lot of risk to do the fast laps, but it's less risk when you're more used to it. It's just, you have to experience the car at these ultra high speeds to become used to it. Obviously, first gear is tough out of there, but I don't know what to say other than you just have to be really, really smooth with the gas. There's no other technique. I'm just gonna watch back exactly where it let go on you. I think partly that was because we'd gone a bit deep. Yeah, you still had quite a lot of lock on as the rear tyre got on the curb, that was all. But yes. That's alright. Yeah, your car is perfectly fine. I'm sure I'd done it as well. Because it's a short track, we can do at least 10 laps of this first run. So I think both of those last corners, we can just go in a little earlier. Like, say 10 metres, 15 metres earlier turn in. And that's purely... That was really good, except just a little bit excess speed. It was like, everything you did into turn 1 was exactly what I would have done. You could actually be slightly wider on the approach. But you hit the apex perfectly. And you almost made it, but yeah, probably... What were we? I'm going to just tell you how much speed. You were 146 through the apex. That's alright. Oh, I'll clear that. Yeah, you're only like 5k too quick through the apex. Oh, you're back in the pits. Sorry, I just clicked away. So yeah, how you judged turn 1 there was actually almost perfect. We were probably just a fraction quick with maybe not quite enough trail braking, but you're definitely on the right path there. It's a case of sending it in, but just about under control. Like, very accurately. Same with these next high-speed corners. Just focus on being accurate first of all, and then just build the speed with each lap. Okay, that's great. That's good. You can go slightly earlier into the final corner, but penultimate corner looked good. Okay, so I'm going to just put that down to flying lap number 1, slightly cold tyres, and a slightly narrow trajectory. We were a little bit... We didn't use very much of the entry curb, and therefore it was just a little bit tight on the way in. When it clicks with how much space you can really use, the lap time will just fall dramatically. That's what I found. I just started using more and more and more, and just kept seeing it go greener and greener. Oof. This is just super Formula cars. This is just it. They're just very, very powerful. Isn't it nice that it's realistic enough that you take that into account? I'm always thinking the same on my practice laps. I'm like, oh no, don't want to drag gravel back on. I rejoin the track really carefully now. So that's good line. Same here. Early brake, early turn. Yeah, and you can go even earlier than that and get on the power earlier too, but that's the right direction. So use more entry curb. Okay, cool. Good start. That was a good start. I reckon we probably braked a little bit late there, which you made it fine, but you can probably get on the power earlier if you brake slightly earlier, if that makes sense. But your line looked good. Once we've done a few more and we've got some solid data from a representative lap, we'll look at the details. Being nice and sensitive with the throttle there. So that exit looks good. Very nice and accurate. Ooh, nice. Yeah, you're getting a decent feel now. This looks much better. Let's do a couple more, and then we'll have a look at the best. So you've already beaten your best lap from before now. Yeah, this is nice. You're now getting a feel for the different phases of the corner and what you can get away with the throttle, just as the car's still kind of leaning on the outside tyre on the exits. Oh, okay. Everything looked good. It's just you have to be even smoother on the gas, but everything up until the moment that let go, that was looking good. Did you want to have a rest there and we'll look at that previous lap? I know you're going to go quicker and quicker. I'm just watching that moment back. Yeah, nothing. You didn't get on any particularly dirty bit of the track or anything. That was purely outside tyre on the curb, slightly too much gas. That's all that was. But yeah, you can do another lap if you want, or we can just look at the data from the fastest one you've done so far. It already beats your previous one, so. Well, I'll tell you what. Since the tyres are cold and dirty, why don't we just exit the car there? We know you can get up to speed quite quickly anyway. So let me just grab that data and have a look. But that I can see now that you're really getting you're getting in the zone with it much more. So that's just going to get better and better now. Just waiting for it to load. Come on, Garage 61. There we go. Yep, 2 purple sectors. Right, so we can ditch your previous one. You're way, way better now. So let's just make that red. Okay, yep, so now, look at this. This now looks way, way better. The final corner is now no longer like a 1 second loss. It's... So the 2 final corners combined are now a 4/10 loss. So that's much better than a whole second just in the last corner. Okay, so what's the lowest hanging fruit now? Interestingly, okay, it's these high speed corners in the middle and then the penultimate corner. Okay, so turn 1, let's not worry about it too much. All of your braking pressures are very close to ideal, just slightly too sharp, I'd say. So I think you can probably get away with slightly... Oh, your braking technique is always so good. I don't know how you achieve such a linear drop-off. It's almost like you've got some kind of AI doing the... like. It's like you've got some kind of cheat on your brake pedal that does this weird... What pedals have you got, out of interest? The Simucube. Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. Yeah, so this is a great advert for them. So, yeah, anyway, basically, your brake trace is always excellent. You can just afford to brake slightly less hard. That's all. Because you can see we're obviously in the middle, fast left-hander. You can see we're braking quite hard and then getting on the power hard. What's the net difference? So on that one, we're 8/10 down there. And as we brake for the next one, it's only a tenth. It's only 1/10 different. So actually, I think maybe it's the second one we can focus on, because although you're doing that first one very differently to me, you are carrying quite a lot more speed from the apex to the next braking zone. So you're only, it looks like we're doing something wildly different, but the loss is only a tenth. This next one though, on the entry, so this is obviously just a loss because the speed's slower all the way through. What it felt like to me on board, before we look at the data, let me just show you, I'll show you what I mean. It felt like you were exiting the curb a bit soon, so you were like artificially narrowing the entry to this next left. So I'll show you what I mean. So this is good out here. And then, yeah, you see how we're now coming off the curb? So by the time you get to the turning point, I want to be out here on this extra bit of asphalt. But you're like diagonally going in here. And it just means here is like the real turning point, like here. And you've got a little bit less room. I think that's the reason why it's pushing you out. I mean, you want to end up out here. But you want to end up out here going slightly quicker. So I think that's what it is. Yeah, you can see on here that makes it a bit more clear, doesn't it? So you can just stay right a little bit longer. Yeah, and then sweep in with a higher speed. So when you make that apex here, you'll still run out wide, out onto that exit curb just here. We're exactly the same position here. It's just I'm going out there with more room to play with, whereas you're already quite wide when you get there. That's where that extra speed comes from there, and that's why I can get back on the power harder. So let's not worry too much about fast left number 1, but fast left number 2, just stay wider slightly longer. That's all. Let's just see exactly. So I definitely didn't get an off track, so this will be a good guide. So I'm out here, look. Out, like, basically touching the gravel. Yeah, and you can see how much my car sticks to the inside because I've just got that nicer, easier trajectory. Still going out wide there. Anyway, let's get back to your data. So that's one. That's a little bit of time there. Penultimate corner. I think we can still go through a little bit quicker. Yeah, so we can just brake a little bit less hard and longer. This kind of typical flattened style brake. So like a long trail. You can see just how shallow my deceleration is. I really don't slow down very much because I'm aiming to let it run wide earlier. And that's going to carry a chunk of time. So of those 4/10, that's at least half of it, that there to there, isn't it? So in terms of what that looks like. So it means quite an early throttle. Bam! It's like back to full throttle, basically at the apex there. But I think it's the extra speed gives you the confidence because of the extra downforce. As long as your steering input's quite gentle, I feel like I'm really barely turning the wheel. Let's have a look at our steering inputs. Yeah, we're very similar. We're very, very similar. So it's not like you're doing anything wildly wrong with the steering or anything. Oh, are we doing a... Ah, look, we're not really doing a full lift there. That's interesting. It's because you're braking harder into the final corner, you're able to not fully lift. You could do a full lift and a gentler brake, and that should then carry that little bit more minimum speed. It's the typical, you're not a million miles away, especially when we zoom out, but those final couple of corners, that is still 4/10. So it's just a case of upping the minimum speed. That's really like the main thing. So just try and carry even more through there than you are. And you can see the red's not quite going as wide on the exit, so you've still got a little bit of room to play with on the exit here. I know I'm doing this all in reverse because we're kind of going back through the lap backwards. Let's just look at those others just in case there's more. So this is a significant step. So we go from 0.4, I guess it's only 0.2. It's just a sharp step of 0.2. Why is that happening into the hairpin? Nothing obvious. There's nothing like massively obvious. It's really just that the minimum, it's a very slow corner and it's very short, but the minimum speed difference, although it's only 13k, that's what's causing that jump, because it happens in, you know, it's from like there to there, but yeah, I guess at that speed, that's a significant proportion, that's a significant percentage, I should say, of the speed. So, okay, so again, we can be wider on the approach and go wider in the middle, in the middle of the exit, I should say, even though our apex is identical. That just probably gives you the permission to carry that little bit of extra speed. But it's not easy. I'm also going down the gears earlier, so I'm like down, 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 down. Probably helping the rotation slightly, I don't know. But I also appreciate you don't want to spin on the exit, so it's not the end of the world 0.2 through there, because your exit's great. You know, you pretty much match me all the way down the next straight, so. And then if we walk all the way back to turn 1, again, it's just a teeny bit less maximum brake pressure, and then just a fraction earlier to full throttle, but you're not doing it badly at all. Little bit more space on the entry that you can carry, not really a lot on the exit, because I think you go over that sausage curb. Let's just look at the lap, because I haven't really looked back over it. So it's, yeah, here you can have these tyres on the red and white curb rather than that side of it. If you put the left tyres over the edge of the green, like onto the tarmac, then you'll get an off track. But you can use basically all of that green. It doesn't seem like it should be that important, but it really does give you that extra bit of space to breathe through here and just lift the minimum speed. So, yes. No, because I think you're straddling it. I actually don't think you're really touching the serrated curb. Let's have a look. I might be wrong. Let me just see. Oh, the right tyres are on it. But I think it's because I'm braking quite gently. It's not, you know, in a dead straight line, and then it really bleeds off. So I think that's why. I've never had any locking problem. And look how much I actually am on the tarmac, and I still didn't get an off track. So that's how much you can use there. On board, it looks like this. So there we go. That's the target for this next one. Let's go do some more. So it's basically just lifting most of the minimum speeds and taking even more of the Mickey with the space you can use on the exits and on the entries. And that fast left-hander in the middle, stay on the right until that kind of escape road section. Let's do it. I think I'm in second through there. Yeah, but it's not essential. I've done it in both. The reason I use second is because I had a more consistent rotation, and then I was just happy to be careful on the gas. But yeah, when I did third, I got a bit of push through the middle, so that's why. But do whichever feels most comfortable, because you're not losing a whole lot of time there. That's good. That's the right amount of exit there. So once the tyres are warm, that line you did there will definitely work. You'll be prompted to carry more speed. Remember, you can let it run wider than you did on that lap. You had quite a bit of exit space still. That one you don't need that much speed. That one definitely you tend to lose time by trying to brake later, in my experience. It's okay. It's just cold tyres first flyer. We need the fuel to come down a little bit and the tyres to get up to optimum anyway. I think the main thing from this session is just getting comfortable with these track limits. That's where you're going to find the time. And then you can... Yeah, that's nice. Like, not being afraid of that sausage curb on the exit, the big yellow one, whilst also not necessarily aiming to use it. It's like, it's there if you have to use it. On my quickest lap, I did drive up on top of it, but you're just then even more careful with the gas. Yeah, makes massive difference, doesn't it? Especially once there's like dirt and marbles and gravel. That was maybe slightly too brave, but I like that you're exploring. Yeah, so it's just a case of only scrubbing off what you need. So just don't use big pressure initially. Just bring it down by like 20%, that's all. Okay, I like that line into there. That's nice. That kind of feeding in the throttle confidently but not too bravely is good. Like, as the speed picks up in the high-speed corners, you can obviously get away with chasing the throttle slightly faster. But that was nice on that lap. So now we just need a tidy one. Even though that is a tight apex at turn 1, and it's like a singular sharp point, you can still send it through there and rely on the downforce. It just has to be accurate. That's nice. Good hairpin. Oh, the gravel's going to get you. I could see it coming. I was like, I've been in that position 50 times in that corner in all manner of cars. It's like everything's good, but you just clip the gravel with like a centimetre of tyre and it spits you around. And yeah, you were nearly, it was like, I mean, by the time the rear got on it, it was a whole tyre's worth, but yeah, that's so easy to do, which is why there's no point trying to carry a lot of mid-corner speed through that corner. It's much more about the rotation in the middle of that corner, and when you see it's really rotating well, then you can pick up the gas, but it's much more important to have a safe exit to that one, that tight one. But apart from that, that was a really good lap. Just remember to open the steering as early as you can on the exit of turn 1. You've got all the ingredients here to smash your lap time. It's just a case of pulling it all together. Okay, that left-hander was nice. There was actually a bit more room on the exit as well. Yeah, a little earlier next time into that one. Yeah, yeah. So earlier soft braking. So earlier soft braking, and that'll allow an earlier turn. Good effort through there. That looks smooth. Yeah, okay, so that's looking pretty nice to those final couple of corners. It has to be fast but calm, and that slightly earlier, softer braking is what gives you the calm. It keeps it all balanced through the middle. And obviously just remember to get that lock off as well. And just that you're holding the lock on fractionally too long on the exit of turn 1, which holds back how early you can get on the gas. Oh! Keep going, keep going. The car will fix itself. Okay, that was better steering opening. Maybe slightly too cautious through the mid corner, but you'll find the happy medium with that. Okay, that's a nice line. That's really good. So as long as you're smooth with the gas like that, that's a really good line. So I think we can just, and as, I mean, in fact, you can tell that because you locked up. I was going to say, you can just brake slightly earlier for that downhill right-hander. There's very little to gain by trying to be too quick in that downhill right-hander. That's nice. So the penultimate corner's great. Last corner maybe just slightly earlier with the downshift and the braking. Yeah, this is nice. That's how it should feel. That's exactly how it should feel through there. So just don't be too greedy in the downhill right, and then be accurate in the high speed. You nailed this hairpin last time. That's it. It's just about patience and getting the wheels straight for your hard acceleration. That was really nice. Nice. Well done. Yeah, don't be a hero in that one. That's good. That's exactly the right way to do it. You know what? Apart from maybe 0.2 of a second getting on the gas too early, that was really, really good, that lap. That was a lovely, lovely lap. You know what, Robert? Your entry into that left was excellent. It was almost like it went in so well that prompted you to just get a bit greedy on the gas, that's all. And the understeer was all from just applying the gas a little too hard too early. But don't let that piss you off too much, because everything else you did on that lap was right. That was all like, you're really looking like you're getting into the rhythm of how to drive this track fast now. So once you do that all in the same lap, it will be fast. I actually don't even care if you do it in this session, because I don't even need to look at the data. Like, I can see you're doing it right when you do it right. So just replicate everything you did in that last lap. Yeah, that was good. And you still didn't fully get the lock off early, so you could have got it off slightly sooner as well. Slightly too early on the gas before the wheels were straight, so just keep that in mind. Don't be tempted to increase the throttle until you know you've got the wheels straight on that exit. Good. And again, your entry into this next one was good last time. Just be a fraction more patient on the gas. Nice. There's a lot of gravel in the middle of that corner. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah. There's not much you can do about that, is there? At least it's realistic. That was nice. That last corner was good. Yeah, the gravel really screws you on that lap. Still a good lap time, despite that gravel. Yeah, well done. You got the wheel, you got the steering straight as you exited again. So same thing with the hairpin coming up. Just only tickle the throttle until the wheels are straight. Yeah, even less than that. Even less than that. Because it'll also help you not overheat them as the session goes on as well. So this is Don't Be a Hero corner. That's good. Next left is Patience on throttle. Not that much patience. The gravel's gradually clearing, but oh my god, it's sketchy when you drive through it. I can hear it bouncing off the understray. Nice. Nice use of the space. That might be a bit far, but I'm going to clear a penalty. Nice apex. A little bit too... The fact you hit that apex so well told me that you probably braked a bit too hard. It shouldn't be... It shouldn't get there that easily. Nice. Yeah, so if you get it rotated that well, you can actually get on the power pretty early. Yeah, tiny bit too late there. But you see the areas where you have to build in a tiny bit of caution. God, there's still a lot of gravel there. Yeah, you're getting really good. Okay, that was maybe slightly brave, but... That's nice. Okay, so... I'm just going to watch that replay back. I'm certain... Yeah, okay, we got a tiny bit of oversteer on the curb. Yeah, that actually began by... Because you hit that inside curb, it bounced the rear. And yeah, and you could never come back from it. It was already sliding. Okay, maybe let's do a couple more. Yeah, we got time for a couple more. I'm happy that you know what it should feel like in every corner. You've done every single corner right at some point today. It's just... We just not... Yeah, if you'd done it all together, you'd be at least a second quicker, I'm sure. I don't know what your optimal is, but it feels like there's another second, ahead of what the time is that you've actually done. But you... Yeah, okay. Yeah, it just doesn't mean you intimately know all the gradients and... the exact corner profiles. So that's a nice line. If it's doing it that well, you can afford to get on the power slightly harder than you did there. Okay, I think that corner's nearly clean now. Great stuff. Excellent final corner. That was lovely. Good. Really, really good. I could feel we were braking a little late that time. It was just slightly too brave. Last corner and the first corner were good though. That's a decent effort through there. Oh my god, the gravel. That's nice. Just get on the power slightly more slowly, that's all. Because you got on the power at the right time, and you were on the right trajectory. We just overwhelmed the car slightly with the amount of throttle that you asked for so soon. So just a tiny bit smoother pickup. Nice. Really nice first corner. And it's because you got the steering angle off, ready for the car to settle. Great stuff. Really, really good. Well done for being patient on the gas. So just smoothly apply the gas. That's more like it. Good stuff. Really, really nice so far, this lap. Good stuff. Yeah, nice. Right, I'm interested to see what this is. There's the lap I thought was in you. That's the one. That's the one we've been waiting for. And it wasn't perfect, but it was bloody good. Yeah, okay, good. Leave it there. Don't do any more. Just stop on that one. So you're like 8/10 quicker than you've done on any other lap. But it's all just because you did all the corners right on that lap, on the same lap. So that's good. That's a nice end point there. Just hop out of the cockpit just so I can get that data. I can only tell you're in because I can see the steering wheels turning. But that's good. That was much more representative. I was really keen for you to at least get one in where, when we look at the data, it's actually representative of what you're capable of. So you can go much quicker than that still, but now you're really close to my time. Like, you're well under a second off now. So that's more like it. And there's more to come as well. Right, let's find you on here. It hasn't loaded yet, so I'll just give it a moment. I'll have some more tea whilst I'm waiting for it to load. Yeah, pretty late. I don't have a particularly early start tomorrow. Like 8 AM, it's quite a nice, relaxed start. So, and it's only 9 PM now, so there's your 12. There it is. I'm going down to my brother's house tomorrow to help him build his go-kart. So that's my day tomorrow. Right, there we go. So let's have a look. Right, okay. So, interestingly, you were much more accurate on the exit of turn 1, but you did that by going in a bit more cautiously. So, we just need to try and move the braking point back to where it was before, but with you cannot help but do this ideal single-seater brake trace, but it might be harming you into this one, because what it'll mean is, if you do the right amount of pressure, you'll then be bleeding off too soon and you'll go through the middle a bit too quick. So because it's I don't know how to describe it, and I don't really know. I guess the reason that you need this kind of plateaued brake that I'm trying to do here, this kind of blue line here, is because I'm not actually braking very hard, because I want to keep everything stable. I don't want the weight to suddenly be on the nose. I want this nice consistent amount of weight transfer. I'm basically choosing how much weight transfer, because I want some weight transfer here as I make that initial turn, but I don't want too little like the green one would be doing, and I don't want too much like the red one might be doing. It's kind of, I just want the car to be decelerating at this rate. That, I guess that's it. That's all. That's the only way of putting it. And that's why, I guess that's why you probably don't want to brake later, because when you brake later, if you bleed off in the same way that you're doing there, you're going to go through the middle too quick. So you just need a little bit of constant pressure in the braking zone there. So what you're hitting at peak there, just try and hold that and then bleed off more dramatically at the end. The corner is kind of too sharp to do such a gradual bleed off, if that makes sense. By doing that amount of bleed off, you're restricting how late you can brake. That's probably the best way of looking at it. So because I'm still doing that bleed off, but I'm doing it from there to there rather than from here all the way down to there. You're basically too smooth at coming off the brakes. But your exit's great. So what you are now feeling is what you can get away with in terms of getting on the gas. You know, you're coming from a lower minimum speed, but you're reaching full throttle roughly the same time as me there. And your exit, you can see all the way down the next straight, benefits. So we just need to sort out the entry. I should probably have written all that down. Let's just go. We need to aim for a more sustained brake pressure. If I can find the P. Which will allow a later brake. Whilst not impacting the stability negatively. Hopefully that makes sense. Yes, I'll put that here. You did it well here, on that lap at least. But yes, get the steering off. In fact, you were so conscious of it. Look, you went bam straight back to straight, like really really fast. So well done. Yeah, just be conscious of that. I'll put that here. Be conscious. Oh, I did spell that right. I think conscious. I think I did it right. Of opening steering. I guess before significant throttle input, which means like really fast because you want to get on the throttle hard and early. Okay, the exit's good. Yeah, look, when you did that corner well, I think you actually were better than me. Yeah, look, it's completely flat on the green line. So you're 261 there. Yeah, you gained on me in that hairpin. So when you do that right, you've got it. You're absolutely at least as good as me, if not better through there. So that's just a green tick. This was bang on. So just do that every time. Very, very smooth throttle input. It's nice. Yeah, I mean, look, by the time you get to the next corner, you've pulled time. You've pulled a few hundredths on me, so that's good. This was pretty decent on this good. I think you were being quite cautious because the rest of the lap was good. But look, your brake trace and my brake trace are effectively the same here. So this is all good. Minimum speed was a teeny bit slow, but you're only losing 1/10 there. So this is pretty much there. Don't be a hero. You just lose time. Yeah, because of the way the track drops away in the middle here, if this is all going right, if it all feels good on the way in, it's going to not feel good on the exit. So it almost has to feel too slow as you approach the apex to account for the fact it's suddenly about to drop away. So normally you rely on your little feedback loop in your driving brain is going, I want it to do this. Is it doing this? Yes. Good. That means I probably can get on the power early, or, at least normally. Whereas this is it feeling good? Yes. Okay, I probably need to be going even slower than this then by the time I reach the apex. So that's all. So just bear that in mind. This next sector, let's have a look. Well, you're not losing here to me. Well, not a lot anyway. So what are we here? 337, and then on the exit. Okay, it's half a tenth or so. So you've actually cut down the deficit you had before here, which was maybe a tenth, slightly. So you've got a very different technique to me through here, but it works totally fine. So I don't care about you changing that. Like, some people might send it in faster, so just be aware. If you're racing here and someone's close behind you, if they're doing my technique, or if they're expecting to do my technique, they might run in the back of you, but you're not going to really be losing out as like a kind of whole sector there to there. You're pretty close. So there is a little bit of time that you could find, like a half a tenth or so, if you manage to perfect my way. But I think it's going to make it feel quite unnatural. So I'm going to say just try to perfect your own technique into here. It didn't look visibly weird to me. It looked quite nice on board. So just make sure you've got that smooth throttle application. And that's one thing I'm going to say. Don't be tempted to increase throttle too quickly, as it just causes understeer. The difference with me is I'm not getting on the throttle for ages. I'm waiting all this time, but that's because I'm already going so quick. I'm already like 20k quicker, so I'm staying off the gas, and that in turn means it's rotating more easily, because even though I'm going quicker, there's weight on the nose, and then when I get on the gas, I go straight to full throttle. But it's just a different technique. On a good lap now, look through this next one. Great. Really, really good. So now, if you're 4/10 down on you're basically not losing anything here. This is good. And there was gravel down through there. This is now really good. So you've completely sorted that out. And I still think there's more space you could use. A teeny bit more room. Look, you're still not quite using all the space, and you completely match me through the middle. So there's Yeah, look, exactly the same apex speed as me. So way better than before. So and as I say, that's with gravel down. So you've got the potential to go slightly quicker again, but that's great. And then final couple of corners, yeah, they're way better than before, aren't they? We probably were just a little cautious here because of everything else going so right. So we turned in a little late, didn't quite get it to the apex, had to brake a little longer. Yeah, look, you went in slightly fast actually. It was because of this, because you didn't quite lift off fully, but you braked at the right point. You then had to stay braking for longer. It's because of this little bit of extra throttle here. So yeah, entry speed. I'll just do this. Entry speed was a fraction too high on this lap, but nearly there. So just a, oh, okay, that just disappeared. Let's try right there again. It's okay, I've got time. I'm just doing exactly the same. That's like almost exactly right. It just meant you had to keep slowing down. You just understeered a bit wide, minimum speed, happened a bit too late. That did then impact the next corner as well. But the time loss is definitely a lot less. So now it's two and a half tenths. So it went from a second to 4 tenths. Now it's 2.5 tenths. So it's just been improvement all the way. And I'm just going to write, just keep working on the slightly early brake and turning, because you can see the reason you lost time is because you braked later than me and went in faster, went wider, and then had to delay the throttle. It's all just like this little here and here, this little bit of slight entry greediness then impacts the exit, and that's where the time loss happens, because your time loss is apex to exit, and that makes sense. So that's it. I think that's a really good effort though. Like, considering you don't know that track, some of those corners are perfect, the others are quite close, and it's only 8 tenths different now. So that's good. You'll be fast. You just need to get really in the rhythm of it as well. But I'm going to stop the recording.